Good evening and salutations, my soap opera fans. So, you know who this person is. I don't think he needs any introductions, but in case you don't, this is the one and only Danny Bear 87. How are you doing today?
I'm all right. How about you?
I'm doing good. I want to sit and see if the audio is good. I've done this a couple of times on my phone. What's good, Spider Quick? Let me know if you can hear me. What I gotta do? That's not bad. I guess I'm good. But you know it's live, so anything can happen.
Yep, that's the fun in it.
You know it's live, so anything can happen. All right, we're good.
That's the fun in it.
Yeah, that's one of the words for it. So, how are you doing today, Danny Bear? Sorry if I'm not looking at people right now.
I'm doing all right.
So, it's like I'm trying to turn it on. All right. So, like usual, thank you everyone for joining. Hope everyone is having a good Sunday, a good week. And so, yes, Days of Our Lives. Martha is leaving. Do you think that they should recast?
Who's leaving?
The actress that plays Bella.
What? I did
Yeah.
not hear that. Wow,
Yeah.
I'm behind on my soap drama. Yeah, not being on Twitter, I missed out on some stuff. But wow, I didn't know. Wow. I would say Belle is needed, but they haven't really wrote anything for her. I was hoping something last year when they had her hook up with EJ, but then they ruined that within 2 seconds with Sammy. And then, the stuff with Sean and Bo and Hope coming back Bo's been in a coma for like 3 months.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But
This whole thing is messy. Because the thing with the thing with recast is that sometimes it can go sideways pretty fast. Like you see how it is on General Hospital with
oh my
Molly and
gosh.
Christina, and it's just been a mess. And I'm not even gonna sit there and say a hot mess. It's just been a mess in general. So
Mhm.
like with Days, I give them a bit of credit because they don't recast too often.
Yep.
Unless they really have to, like with EJ. Like that dude was not coming back. He was Dunzo with that
Yeah,
show. He was
that thing's
Dunzo just in
done.
general. So I think my dude is actually doing real estate. Last time I checked.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
cool. I need to call him up. I
So
need a house.
so yeah, he's not coming back. So it's like they had to do something. So they had to recast. And for me, it works because I didn't know what the old EJ was like. But I
Mhm.
know for some other people, they're like, no. So with Bella, it's like Kristen Storm was Bella before she was Maxie, and I can't see that. You know, I can
Yeah.
only see that woman as Bella, like, Martha. So I don't know. But what's your thoughts on recast though? Like, how do you feel about that?
Um, Sometimes soaps can do it right, some no. Um, I think Days has done good with the last few people they've recast. I think Dan is really awesome as EJ. I was a big EJ fan and James Scott and EJ fan, and I think that he has great chemistry with Ari, even though probably won't get EJ and Nicole. Ugh, this show, I swear. And they're good. good with Chanel too. And yeah, I think Marcy did good as Abby. But she was done with the show. Well, she tried to
Yeah.
stay, but they wouldn't work around her schedule. So
Yeah, and it's to be fair, it's kind of hard on both fronts because it's like she wanted to do other things and come in when she wants, but it's like, well, your character has a family and a husband, so it's like before when they were broken up, it made more sense to her just dip in and dip out, but it's like kind of
yeah,
need you there full time,
yeah,
and it
can't
made
last for a
more sense.
couple.
Yeah, and it made more sense for them to just sit there and just be done so with the character, and I mean they could have
I don't
recast.
think they're done with her. I have a
Like
feeling
to
she'll
come
come
back.
back from the dead one day to start something.
I heard Hope used to do that back in the day. The actress that played Hope, she would leave for a little bit, come back, leave for a little bit, come back. Oh, I even heard Gabby at once. Somebody was saying the actress that played Gabby used to sit there and do that. She would leave for a little bit, then come back, and so
Yeah, she left a few years ago. Um, it was like 3 years ago. Her and Galen, who plays Rafe, they left for a little while, but then came back. Yeah, I
I,
thought she was done with the show, but then she came back. So then I was like, okay, but that's cool because now we have Gabby and Stefan, but now she's about to leave again. So just breaking my heart. So mean.
well, see, I always look at that, and I'm just like I know people want to explore, they want to try new things, they want to be in movies and things of that nature. And on one hand, I think that that's really cool. You only live once, right? So I get
Yeah,
that. But then I also sat there looking at it, I was like, in a time where study work is like a blessing, and you decide to leave a character to be like, oh, I want to sit there and be in this, you know, Lifetime movie or Hallmark movie where like, it's
a
like,
new
and
movie
then
every
you gotta
week.
sit there and you gotta like audition, you gotta be doing all that stuff. It's
That's too much work. I was
that's
like,
all I was just like, yeah, like just
yeah,
I didn't want like Lonnie. But to be fair, this is a bit of a different situation because you know that guy Albert, what he got caught for. You did a video on that, so you
yeah,
know. So it makes me
exactly.
wonder. It makes me wonder like why did they all really leave? Was it because they want to do other things, or they just want to get away from that guy?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. And I was like, because when I was like at my old job, I was like, I just like wanted to get away from here. And the people were just like driving me away. I was like, I'm done with them. It's time to move on. So I like, how many of them really were like, they like doing it, but then they're like, he's here, so I think it's time to do something else.
Yeah,
I was like, how many women or even men, because he said that they was mostly women, but they said he blew up at some guy on set too for cutting his hair. So then I'm trying to think,
yeah.
I was like,
Hmm.
who cut their hair recently, or we haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, that's crazy. What's good, everyone? Thank you for joining. Hope everyone is having a great Sunday. Um, yeah, sorry if I don't get back to y'all while you're in the chat and stuff. You know how I do on the weekdays. But stay in, have a good time, chill, get something to drink, something to eat, and but yeah, just one of the many things I don't like about this guy Albert is the fact that he shares the same name as me. So it's kind of weird to sit there and talk about him. I
Yeah,
just really, then you sit there and you look at it and it's like you didn't think that guys like that still exist. I mean, we know that they do, but it's
yeah.
like
It's
on
like,
what
why would you
planet
want
do
to
you
do that?
actually think that? Yeah,
You're gonna get called out, definitely. In this day and age, you're gonna get called out and lose your job. I'm like,
exactly. It's like, granted, like maybe back in the 1950s, he can sit there and get away with stuff like that. But it's like 2023, you can get canceled. I can get canceled. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get canceled at some point down the line. But I mean, did you hear some of the stuff he was sitting there saying to some of these women? He wasn't saying it like, oh, just between me and you. It's like he was just bluntly saying it in front of other people.
yeah,
How
that's
did
like,
that go on for so long?
That's why
and
I
no one was
wonder.
being like,
I was like, y'all don't think that's wrong? I'm like, that's stupid. I'm
well,
like,
they
and
were
then he just got a slap on the wrist. I'm like, what?
no, I heard he got fired. He got fired.
Yeah, but at first they wanted him to do some training or something
Oh yes, yeah,
after their investigation.
yeah,
Training? I'm like, he's
training.
a grown man. He should know what he's doing is wrong. That's termination. Because that's not just doing bad at work. That's also illegal. And I'm like, he should have charges brought up against him.
Yeah,
That,
that's
that's what
insane.
I'm waiting for. Who's gonna, bring up charges against him? 'Cause that's definitely something he definitely deserves.
It's one of those things where it's like, um, it only, the only reason why I heard he got fired was because the cast and crew were like, yo, listen, we're gonna walk if this dude doesn't go. But it took that.
Mm,
Like, how
for
in
the
this day and age did it take something like that where it's like the stars had to get involved? Like, that's nuts.
yeah, that's just disgusting. I'm like, yeah, and then they kept it under wraps too. Um, I don't think I read the original article. I forgot how it got leaked or something. So it's like they're trying to keep it under wraps, but it just got out somehow, and so everybody was jumping on it, and people they were signing some kind of petition too. They said
Hmm.
like 25 people, at least 25 people signed it. So I'm like, who signed it? Well, I know Ari Zucker. I'm sure she signed it, but I'm not sure about who else did it.
Yeah, it's just been insane. It's been, like I said, 1950s, 1960s. I see stuff like that happening.
Mm-hmm.
2023,
Mm-hmm.
you sit there, you call a woman cute, and it's practically a rap. Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't understand how he was that bolden. But then again, the studio kept it under wrap. You look at what's her name, Haley something, with the drunk driving and stuff like that, and knocking
Uh-huh.
into two cars and stuff.
Yeah.
It was kept under wrap for a little bit. You know,
Yeah.
just your thoughts on the whole Haley Pete thing.
I haven't followed up on it. Last thing I've heard was that the guy she hit, he was suing her. That's the last thing I heard. Yeah. I was like waiting to see, what exactly his injuries were. Cause I was curious. Well, that's just me being nosy. I'm like, what did he hurt? But I'm not saying he's lying or anything. I was just curious, what did he hurt? I was like, because looking at those pictures, I'm like, how did they like live from that? That's just like crazy. It's
Yeah.
like, whew, they're blessed that day. Whew.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I just, my whole thing is I look at it, something like that, that's not the first time. That is not the
Mhm.
first time that she's done that. That's the first time that she's probably got caught. That's
Yeah.
the difference. Um, and now, well, here's the thing. I don't know if she's actually fired.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I know that when you start the episode, it was like the role of Molly be now played by so and so,
But
but
that
it's
one,
kind of up in the air if she's actually going to be gone. And it's one of those things where it's like it sucks because I am so not invested into this whole Molly, TJ, Christina Circus story. And I
mm,
feel like if you had the original people, it might actually get me into it a little bit more. But they also
yeah,
rewrote these characters though too. Like Molly was never this over the top when it came towards Christina. Like, have you
yeah,
noticed that?
yeah, they seem pretty tight. I mean, we didn't see them a lot together, but I don't remember them like having any kind of blowouts in a long time. It's
Yeah,
just like they're just adding in some extra drama to set up this surrogacy storyline, which is just oh goodness. I was hoping that the rumors were false, but oh lordy, I just see it happening.
yeah. It's,
But
it's pretty stupid. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, it's not. I mean, it sucks because Lexi couldn't, apparently she couldn't really film, she was probably doing other things. So it's like they had to get in Kate. But for me, Kate is just not working. And I know people that watch Days, it's really not working. Think about it. She was playing a character that had kids. She was already established. She was already an established mom. Now she goes from that show to General Hospital. It's like she's still coming into her own. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't really fit because Christina's always been kind of, not very adultish, just kind of her own thing or whatever. So yeah, watching Kate play her that way is, after seeing her play Abby is just kind of weird. But I mean, I think she's doing the best she can with what she's given, and I do like her chemistry with Kelly and with Nancy also. I don't know this new Molly. I can't with her. She just not really good with acting, and she's much older than Haley. Like the her brother had defended her getting the role because people were talking about she looks too old to play Molly, and then the way he was saying it sounds like she's older than me. I'm like, oh, okay. Um, so I was like, I don't know where they were going with that casting, but okay. Because yeah, she even looks like she could be older than Kelly or around Kelly's age. I'm like, there's a big age gap between Sam and Molly.
yeah, it's not looking good. It's not. I don't like. I mean, I think maybe Kate could have came in. I just think maybe they should just gave her a different character because
Yeah,
this Christina is
definitely.
just it's not hitting. I mean, granted, even when they had Lindsay Morgan, she wasn't hitting, and she's a good actress, but she could have probably maybe did something else.
Yeah.
She could have probably did something else. Just throwing it out there. You
Yeah.
remember Lindsay Morgan, right? What was you? Do you remember Lindsay Morgan?
Mm.
Lexi was going in it to keep not to keep her. What was the Joe Scully, his son? Remember that storyline right before that whole water pathogen thing wound up happening?
Hmm.
You don't
I
remember, do you?
remember. I remember the recast, but I can't remember. I can't picture her face. I don't know. I would have to look her up, and then it'll probably come to me because the name does sound
So
familiar.
so what do you think of the new mayor on Days of Our Lives, Clint Rowling?
Oh my gosh! Oh, that's his name, Clint. I just called him Deputy Mayor asshole.
Oh,
'Cause
oh,
he
yeah.
is. He's just jumping on Chanel for no reason over a sticker. Really, a sticker? I think he planned that. Like he purposely made sure they didn't send her one so he could shut her down. Hmm. That's what I think.
Yeah, no one seems to like this guy. Well, there's one soap opera commentary that that likes him, or at least he understands him. Because it damn sure isn't me. It's DC, by the way. Um, no, it's just he was in the chat. He was like, "Oh, I can see where he's coming from," and I'm looking at this whole thing, and I'm like, I don't want to sit there and say like he's a member of the Proud Boys, but you know what the Proud Boys are, right?
No. Uh-uh.
It's
I
another
might
word
have.
for simply being racist.
Oh.
I mean, I'm not sitting there saying that fully, but like it's not looking good. First of all, he came at Chanel sideways and seemed like he was really gunning after her. Then he passes up Jada for a promotion that gives it to a guy who was literally drinking on the job. Yeah, see, Marsha, you know exactly what the boys are. Literally, Sean was drinking on a job, but yet you gave the job to Sean instead of Jada. Now, if
Mhm.
Sean wasn't drinking, it would have made sense because he's been there longer, so it would have made sense. But
Yeah.
he was
Both
literally
his
drinking on the
parents have
job.
been the both his parents have been the police commissioners. His uncle was too. So
Yeah,
I always said that he should have been the commissioner, but the state he's in now, it wouldn't look good, especially with them, doing a tribute to Victor, doing that this week. So that's just gonna mess him up even more, because like Victor would have never been on a plane had Sean not have not shot Bo. So it's
But
like,
he's going to go right back into it again.
yeah, it's like just setting him up to just like mess up the whole police force and all of Salem. That's stupid. Yeah, because that's what I was thinking. Is this are they going that direction with him? Is that he's racist or sexist or both? Yeah, 'cause that's
Yeah,
what I was
that's yeah.
thinking. You know, first was Chanel, then Jada. Like, I mean, well, he did make a good point. Jada did sleep with her boss, but she didn't put nobody in danger sleeping with her boss.
Exactly.
Sean
And
could have hurt anybody with that.
yep. Thank you. Yes. And Oklahoma. Yeah, that seems about right. That seems about right. No offense to anyone that lives in Oklahoma, but as far as the Proud Boys, but yeah, I mean, it's not a good look. And granted, he did fire Ray for breaking the rules and stuff like that. But Jada is a subordinate, though.
Yeah,
So it's like it's like it shouldn't impact her. It shouldn't impact her chances of being promoted. And that's what she was just saying before. She was like, "Is it because of my gender or because of the color of my skin?" And
yeah,
at first, I was like, I was on Sean's side, and then I remember I was like, "Oh, yeah, wasn't that dude drinking like not that long ago?"
yeah.
And the dude just comes back like, "Oh, it's cool." Like, what? So
I was ready for Trask to come out and say something. Maybe this week we'll see her say something.
yeah, she's probably gonna say something, but it's probably not gonna matter because yeah, it's just not looking good. It's not looking good for her. But yeah, and I know a lot of people don't like him so far, and I'm just like, yeah, I can understand why.
Well, the show needs a new villain. Don't really have anybody do anything too bad, really.
Well,
Everybody's gone in prison or just disappeared. Megan and her submarine.
the submarine. That's hilarious. I don't even sit there and say that with a straight face. Oh yeah, the character is left. Yeah, no, she just hopped in the submarine. Like, how do you?
And nobody saw her leave. She was shot. Oh lordy.
So jump into General Hospital real quick. What do you think of Carly and her pride and the fact that she got to inconvenience her daughter at God knows whatever hour to try to get her out of jail because she won't take Sonny's help? Yeah,
I thought the whole thing was just hilarious. I'm like, see, you can't let grown folks out. They don't know how to act. Yeah, I thought she called Sunny, but I was like, oh, Eddie called Sunny. I was like, okay, cool. But I thought that was funny. But actually, I'm glad she didn't have Sunny help her. So I'm
why?
like, good.
Why?
Because she said that she's done with him and she wants to take care of herself and stuff. So the best thing to do is to not accept help from your ex husband who left you for another woman.
I feel like I need something stronger to actually finish having this conversation. Um, I just I'm trying to understand that because here's the thing. Somebody else said the same thing too, and I was just like, I don't know how to respond to that. So a night in jail versus having him just sign some papers so you can leave. But no, I'd rather just sit there and call my daughter at like 12 o'clock at night to have her drive all the way down here to come and pick me up, even though this dude is right there.
Mhm.
Like what sense does that make? I'm trying to understand that. Please explain that to me.
Because she doesn't want Sunny's help. She's trying to do stuff on her own.
Okay.
She always leans on Sunny. She always leaned on Jason. She was leaning on Drew till she got him locked up. Now I think about it. If Dante took Liv home, then Liv could have came back and got her.
Yeah, yeah, but
Or
no,
Dante could have signed her out.
anyone could have signed her out. I mean, the point is, Sonny was right there. But so you're actually happy that she stood her ground and decided to stay.
Yeah, she should be in jail now for what she did, not Drew.
Well, I mean, no, no, I'm talking about the other thing. Though you thought that was
Yeah,
actually a good thing. That
yeah. So she can see what Drew is dealing with now because of her stupidity.
well, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I get that. I just like I said, I okay, all right. I'm not even gonna sit there and try to dive into that because like I okay. Um. So what you thought of General Hospital last week?
uh, I don't know. That was just it was like up and down stuff. I'm like, what? I don't know. And I'm burning down Anna's house. That's just wrong.
And then she decided to walk back in and make sure that everything was on fire. Like
Hmm.
who does that?
I was like,
First of
girl,
all,
you just turned you touched the knob. It's hot, and then I know you heard that fire because I heard the fire. I'm like, oh lordy, and she just gonna stand in there calling 911. I hope she was calling 911. I don't know who she was calling.
I
Oh Lord.
just
But I think it was a woman that did it because those legs, they look kind of thin. They don't look like man legs unless it was some scrawny dude.
yeah, I gotta sit there and look at that again because well, yeah, I'm gonna sit there and say it was probably Alex. Or sit there and say probably Alex. Makes sense.
Oh lordy.
Um, because the only other thought I was sitting there thinking about was Peter. I remember
Oh
Peter working.
no, no,
Yeah,
no!
no,
Don't
I
bring
remember. You
him
know
back.
the
No,
shoes,
don't put
the
that out
shoes.
into the world.
You're not a Peter August fan. You're not a
No,
Peter August fan.
I hated him. I was so happy when he finally died. I was like,
Would you like?
thank you. I never wanted a character to die so much in my life.
what did Peter do that you didn't like?
He existed.
Okay, let's try to be a little more. Let's try to be a little more specific.
It's like I couldn't buy him as a bad guy. He's like so pathetic. Like couldn't take him seriously. And then they just did all this stuff to try to make him seem like he's this big bad guy. But he's just like a weak dude. Anybody could have took him down, no problem. I'm like, it's I just I could just go on and on about him. It's just ugh. And then they made Finn and Liz look stupid for saying that he was dead, but really he was still alive. I'm like, it's a doctor and a nurse, and they couldn't tell the dude was still alive. That's when I was like, yes, it's past time to kill him. They should have let Lizzo kill him a long time ago when she had kidnapped him. But Maxie and I think it was Nina stopped her. I'm like, y'all just, I'm mad at y'all forever for that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
it just made everybody stupid. Anna was acting stupid. Maxwell was acting stupid. I'm like, seriously, if Robert is saying somebody is bad news, wouldn't you believe him? I would believe Robert. I trust Robert more than I would trust majority of the characters on the show. I'm like, ugh. It just made Anna look really bad too. Her thinking that that was her son. I'm glad they changed that. Oh lordy, because it was starting to make me not like her.
now I want to get into quote unquote because this is something that I think happened like maybe 2 weeks ago, give or take. Betty and the infamous smack that Ava received. And for some odd reason, it's like people are losing their edge. They was like, how dare Betty smack Ava? And once again, I'm
Exactly.
going and once again, I'm going to sit there and remind people how many times that Ava used to sit there and smack up her own daughter. Like I don't know, it's like the Ava's fans like took that really personal, and I'm just like, so we just gonna sit there and pretend that Ava didn't sit there and shoot Kanye in cold blood, right? But no. She gets smacked and everyone's sitting there losing their edge. I just I don't know. I felt that so funny. It was like, oh, how dare she smacks her? And I'm like, how
Yes,
dare?
it's Ava Jerome. You don't slap Ava Jerome.
No, but it was like, how dare she sat there and try to mess with Morgan's pills? But I guess we just gonna sit there and forget that stuff too, right?
Who cares about Morgan? I'm glad he's gone. He was so annoying. Oh my goodness. Oof.
Okay.
Uh-uh.
Okay. I don't know. Like I said, I found it very funny. It's like karma is definitely something else, and people totally forget about all the transgressions that Ava has done over the years. But the minute that she gets smacked, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe that that happened. Like, how dare she do this to Ava? I'm like, but Ava
Yeah,
was
she
getting
just
away.
met Ava. Ava didn't do nothing to her.
She got
The
no.
real
She got to establish herself. I was there for it. I
no.
was a betting fan after that.
I'm there for Ava killing her in the end. She better at least beat her ass for after that, for sure. I think Sonny might have saved her life when he walked in. Because I thought he saw the slap. Because the way he was looking, I thought he saw it.
Hmm. I think somebody's gonna like this video. One of my friends is gonna like you. Um, when they see this video, his name is Kyrie's Clark, so he's gonna like you.
Cool.
Yeah, but I don't know. I found that very funny. I was like, the minute she came in, she smacked the living bejesus out of her. I was like, make her a permanent character.
No,
I want this chick Betty to be a permanent fixture on this damn show.
no, 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 no. Mm-mm. She lucky she's still alive. Because if somebody else was writing Ava, yeah, I think Ron was the only one that wrote her good. The chicks that came after him, and then these dudes now, they don't know what to do with Ava Jerome. Mm-mm-mm.
I love your reaction. I give you that. I love your reaction. Like I said, my boy Kyrie's he's gonna like you. He's gonna like you. He probably won't like me, but he's gonna like you though. You got Mason. First of all the bars that they could have went to, and Carly picks the most dive is a dive bars. I mean, I know they can't go back to Jake's, but I'm like, really? And of course, you got Mason. You know, he's drunk as hell. You got Ned there. That was a crazy scene.
That was funny. I was like, because it happened like real quick. I was like, wait, hold on, is that Mason? And then it came back, and I'm like, oh my goodness, Mason is drunk, hella drunk.
Twisted,
Oh goodness. Mm-mm-mm.
dude.
I was waiting for the cops to bust in. I was like, really? They're not calling the cops. Everybody just watching it happen. And then the next episode, they're all at the police station. I was like, wait, how did Mason get away with it? But then he was like, oh, yeah, I snuck out the back. And I'm like, you're smart. You're really drunk, but you're a smart goat.
Yeah, you can you know a funny thing. You could be a functional drunk. Some people I can be a functional drunk if that makes sense.
I guess the sirens woke him up. He knows what to do with those
Yeah,
sirens.
exactly. Carly took care of that like a badass, like she always does. She just took that bottle, boop. That pretty much was a rat right there. That's funny. It's like I've been drunk, but I've never been that drunk. Like I've never been that drunk to where it's like I just start being really aggressive and just like hitting on someone. I've never been that drunk.
No. No, I'm more of a fall down, trip over everything kind of person.
But you're not angry. You're not an angry drunk.
Mm-mm. I'm
Maybe.
silly. I just say silly things. I fall. I probably will flirt, but I'm not aggressive.
So yeah, because yeah, I mean, alcohol does usually kind of bring out more of the tendencies that you already have. So Nah, but that scene was crazy though. That scene was crazy. Um, what do you think of B&B so far?
Oh lordy,
Who
I've
team
had
are you? Team Liam or Team Finn?
really
Yes, really.
Team Finn, Liam. Ugh, I can't stand him. I was ready for Finn to just take him outside and just throw him in the ocean and hope that Sheila don't show up to save him because he is just getting on my nerves even more than before. He's in up there talking about he's not trying to do nothing to get Steffi back, but then there he is doing it. He basically told Finn he was going to do it. And then everybody getting in Finn's face, just telling him how bad he was for turning his back on Kelly and let Sheila save her. And I'm like, okay, I get it. He did something bad. And even him, he looked like he was like, okay, shut up. I know what I did was wrong. Goodness gracious, move on. That's literally all they said last week. So they said it to each other and then they said it to his face. And Taylor don't even know yet. So we're gonna have to hear about it whenever she come back.
Yep.
I'm like, oh lordy. Mm-mm.
Now,
This show.
I'm gonna sit there and say something that's a little controversial. I know that people are gonna sit there and get kind of mad at me, but I'm gonna say it anyway. In some ways, I understand where Liam's coming from. I don't agree. Let's be very clear. I don't agree with him trying to be a snake and steal Steffi and stuff. Right? I don't agree with
Mhm.
that. But let's be honest. If your baby girl almost drowned by somebody else because they weren't sitting there paying attention, you'd be
Mhm.
pretty pissed off too. You would.
Yeah.
Also, Sheila is dangerous, and Finn is not there hugging Sheila left and right, and talking about, oh, mom this and mom that, and you need to sit there and cut her some slack, and she's a hero and stuff like that. Yo, are you serious? So I can see where Liam is coming from as far as protecting Kelly, protecting Steffi, and stuff like that. Like, granted, that is Finn's job. That's not Liam's, but a dude's fault. He's literally sitting there falling asleep on a job. So I can
Yeah.
understand where Liam is coming from. I get it, you know.
Yeah. I can get it, but he's going about it the wrong way. Yeah, like Finn said, he should have Liam should have went to Finn about the hug, not go running to Steffi about it.
Yep.
That just shows that he's being sneaky, you know. But yeah, I can understand he's worried about Kelly's safety because of Finn turning his back on her and then Sheila out on the loose. Even though Sheila has not done anything to talk to Finn, she's too busy with Deacon making up for the time she was locked up.
Hmm. Absolutely, loving in the afternoon. I'm a huge fan of that. So yes, gotta make up that lost time.
Yeah, but she'll be back somehow. Oh lordy.
It's and of course, see, here's my thing about Hope and what she's doing, and the whole the whole time she was like, well, I knew that in the back of my head that Liam still loved Steffi and stuff. First of all, that was never an issue until Liam started acting that way. So all Liam is sitting there doing is backing up Hope's BS claim, so this way she won't look like such a bad guy in the situation. Oh, well, you love Steffi anyway, so it doesn't really matter. It's like, when did that happen? But now Liam is sitting there talking about, I should have never let you go, this, that, and the third. I'm like, where is that coming from? Like, that literally seems like it's coming out of nowhere, and it's only coming out of nowhere to
Like what?
fit that BS narrative.
Yeah, I'm like, if they would have built it up a little more, then I was like, oh
Yeah.
okay. But I mean, they've shared scenes over the last few months talking about Hope and Thomas, but it was never like made it seem like, oh, Liam might be falling for Steffi again, or he really is in love with her. No, he was all about how he wanted to save his marriage and wanted Thomas to go away. So then I'm like, did I miss some episodes? The show. They don't
Yeah.
think things through. They just put
Brad,
it out there.
Brad Bell. Brad Bell. That's all I'm gonna sit there and say about that. Thank you, Marsha. Thank you, Marsha. You're not gonna sit there and say that once. Um, but yeah, it's just it's one of those things where it's like they're doing it to fit the narrative. Because let's be honest, you sit there married to somebody, you really gonna sit there and stay with them, knowing that in the back of your head you sit there thinking, oh, I bet you he's still sitting there thinking about so and so. Normal people don't do that. Normal
No,
people don't sit there and make a commitment to be with somebody knowing that they want to be with somebody else. Normal people don't do that.
yeah,
So
definitely wouldn't
that's why
marry
that doesn't
them.
make sense. Exactly. That's why I was like, that's why it doesn't make sense. But of course, it's Brad Bell's world, so this is what we got going on. And Rich, I'm not gonna lie, Rich pissed me off. Rich coming in and Finn's office and they're talking about you slept on a job and da da da, and then his pointing his damn finger. Yo, listen, let me tell you something. Do not ever point your finger at me, otherwise you don't want to have that finger. Like it just, I'm like, bro, you are literally the last person to be snitching talking about mistakes, this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
When you've made mistakes over the years, you gonna walk in this man's office, his work hours, to sit there and try to lecture him, bro? If you don't get your old ass from out his, like, I can't do it. Can't.
Mm-hmm. Instead, they're calling him stupid. I'm like, I know I've only been watching for a year and a half, but you've been the one that's been the most stupid on the show,
Yeah,
Lord Jesus. You get mad at your wife, so you go back to your ex-wife and don't even tell her why you mad at her. Just gonna divorce her. And then when you find out the truth, you leave the woman that you claim that you want to be with at the altar to go
yeah.
back to the barn.
But yet he comes on his high horse to sit there and try to lecture somebody else. That's what I was like, bro, you are so out of pocket. I don't even know where to begin on what's wrong
Yeah,
with all of that.
Finn was nice to him. That show would have told him about himself. Mm.
Too bad you don't watch Y&R. When you gonna get into that show with the
Actually,
mustache man?
I started watching it again. Well, I'm starting where I left off at back in January. I wanted to see how Jeremy's storyline played out, and I'm like, oh lord, man, I didn't really miss much. Just stupid. Gonna sit there and plant that necklace on him they stole from Nikki. Like, what? Lordy. You should have flushed that down the toilet.
Yeah, you gotta get caught up in what's going on right now because what's going on right now it's crazy. So, do you ever think that you'd be maybe in the future reviewing Y&R?
Um, I don't know. I don't think I can commit to watching that regularly because they always do something to get on my nerves. Because they don't, their storylines are boring and they don't have any really good couples or many likable characters on there. So it's like I haven't been able to stick around for, I think the longest has been a year in the last like decade that I've watched regularly. But I don't know. Are Daniel and Lily together?
Yeah, they together. Yeah.
Okay, I can watch. But I don't want Sharon and Chase together. Don't tell me they're together.
I mean, it seems like it's this love triangle between those two and Summer.
Summer. She's married to what's
Yeah,
his
no,
name?
no, they separate at this point now.
Kyle, that's his name.
Kyle. Yeah, Kyle Smith did knocking boots to some woman named Audra.
What?
Wow, the look on your face. The look on your face.
That see,
Look
this is
on your
why I
face.
can't watch that show.
See, I'm there for it.
Why is Kyle cheating on her? And who I don't know who is she?
You don't know Audra?
I probably have seen her and just don't know her name.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not good with names on that
yeah,
show.
no, she's the woman that was working with Tucker. She was the woman that was working with Tucker.
Oh, I don't like her. She got on my
Oh,
nerves. She's
I
gonna
love
go
you.
up there and tell Devon everything about Tucker. I'm like, really? That's why you got fired. I can't
See,
with
yeah,
her.
see, I'm with it with Audra, because Audra looks good. So I'm with it with her. Um, but yeah, my dude Kyle, he just didn't give a damn. Like he cheated on her, and he treated her like garbage. And I don't even. Here's the thing, I don't even like Summer, and I was like, bro, you doing too much. Like,
What
yeah,
about the Diane Phyllis drama?
yeah, it had a lot to do with that. It had a lot to do with Summer knowing that Diane was innocent, but yet, didn't say anything because she wanted to protect Phyllis, which I understood.
Mm.
But Kyle was just so pissed off that he practically kicked her out the house. Like, I mean, he literally was like, "Get your stuff and leave." And then he decided to cheat on her. No, no, no. He cheated on her before, and then he kicked her out. Yes. He was just making men look bad that day. He was just making the male species look bad. I
Wow.
was like, bro. I always thought that was like, ladies, he's not. We don't claim him. He's not.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why I said you missed a lot. This is why you got to get back into it.
Okay, I'll watch it this week to see the hot mess of this show. Oh, Jesus.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I get it. Watching Forest soap operas is not. It's it's a bit of work. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I used to watch six. Yeah, six at once. So I watched I watched Y&R, and I watched Days, Passions, All My Children, While I Had to Live in General Hospital at the same time.
Where you had a VCR or something like that, like.
Had a VCR, and during the soap net days was easier, especially
Yes.
when they added Y&R. That made it easier too. Yeah, but my nana watched All My Children and Passion, so she would record it for me. But yeah, I don't know how I kept up with all. I was younger. That's what it was. I was younger. That's how I kept up with all that drama.
Yeah, exactly. But also, I mean,
Nowadays,
when you were watching it, you weren't an adult yet, though, right?
huh?
How? I mean, like, I don't know. Because here's the thing, I started watching soaps when I was in high school. When I was in high school, I think 11th and 12th grade. That's when I started watching the soap
Um,
opera. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't working at the time. I didn't really have responsibilities, so it was a lot
yeah,
different. Now,
yeah.
it's a job. I mean, it's a fun job, still a job, though.
Mhm. Sometimes I don't want to show up, depending on the episode. I'm like, yeah, some days I'm like, why am I watching this show? But then something happens and I'm like, ooh, okay. And then like, oh, it's the end of the episode. Ugh, of course. Save the best for last.
Yeah, usually, that's the thing with a lot of shows. They don't, with a lot of shows, our shows, they don't hit their stride until like 23 minutes into the show. I've noticed
Mhm.
that with a lot of shows. They don't start to get good until like 23, 24 minutes into the show, where it kind of starts to get you into it. Um, and that's how it is. That's how it is for most shows, unless it's like Friday. Sometimes they'll start ramping up. I remember when I used to sit and watch it back in like 2001, 2002, and like Wednesdays on GH used to actually be really good. Like you didn't even have to wait for a good Friday. Like Wednesday, they were just, that was the Bob Guza day. So Bob Guza, that was that dude back then that some people didn't like, but whatever.
I loved him. I mean, it was messed up. He killed like all the Quartermains. He didn't care about killing nobody. He just killed everybody. It was like nobody was saved pretty much, except for his face.
His favorite three. And thank you, Marsha. Yes, hit that like button, as you're coming in. Definitely also follow Danny Bear. I will leave a link to her channel in the description box. Um, but yeah, the Bob Guza days, the trio, Jason, Sonny, and Carly. People. I don't know. My whole thing is like I never saw it that way, but like I think differently now than I did back then. I might have saw it that way. And let me ask you a question. Can you imagine if you sit there and review it back then, like those shows back then? How would have been to review those shows?
I would have been talking for hours probably.
Well, you
Because
had
it
like
was
six
so much.
shows. You had six shows to watch, and now you watch basically three.
Yeah. Like, that's crazy. I kept up with 6 soap operas.
Oh yeah, I mean it's easier to yeah, but it's easier to do it back then. Again, I don't know how old you were, but like for me, I used to watch. I think I used to watch three. And it was Port Charles, One Life to Live, and General Hospital. Right? Like I can see myself probably maybe doing like six shows or whatever. It was different when I didn't have a job. I was just in high school, so it was like just come home and watch it. But good old SoapNet. Those were the days. What? Those were the days. I'll sit there and say that
Yeah.
much. Like I feel like in some ways, like soap operas kind of like definitely hit a high point where they dedicated a whole channel to soaps. You know.
Yeah. I was mad when that went away. That was so cool. I was trying to get them to get passions too. But of course, no. No.
So it's a dying breed now. And it's literally the fans that have been keeping these shows alive. Because as my friend James always sits and says, the networks do not give an F about your soap operas. They don't.
Nope. It doesn't matter. Some little news story comes up. Oh, let's interrupt the soap operas.
Yeah.
Because they won't interrupt during the weekend, I'm sure. I don't watch network TV during the weekends. They don't play nothing.
I haven't watched. The only reason why I'm gonna be honest. The only reason why I actually got a cable box is because I went to watch General Hospital, and I used to watch it on a certain site, but then they shut down that site, and the only way I'm able to sit there and watch it now is to wait to Hulu at 9 o'clock. It doesn't work my schedule, so it's like, yeah, it's good. I'll just get a cable box. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to get a tax write off on that.
Yeah, well, I didn't have cable for like 8 years. So it's like when we moved, we had to switch to Cox, and it's like we could. Um, I was just gonna get Wi-Fi because I work from home, and they're like, "Oh, if you add the cable, it's just like a few dollars more or something like that." And I was like, with that combined, that was less. That was just like a couple dollars more than we were paying for Verizon with just Wi-Fi. So I was like, "Cool, get it," and then get cable. Not on cable. Nothing on cable. And the shows I would watch, I can watch on one of the streaming services I have. Well, I admit I have been getting into the game show network a little more. I don't know why. I just, Saturday nights, that's like nothing else is on, so I watch the game show network.
Yeah, I got the bare minimum as far as my cable package. It's literally just the basic channels, and I mean like channel 2 through channel 11. That's it. Um, Seriously, because here's the thing: when I used to sit there and be in high school, my one of my favorite networks was MTV, and the only thing that they play now is Catfish. Monday through Friday is Catfish in the afternoons. I'm just like, I don't know what happened to that network, but I mean, I watch a lot of my stuff on streaming anyway, so it's like I'm not gonna sit there and really watch anything on the Sci-Fi channel. Like I don't know. So it doesn't do me any good. The only thing that actually does is watching General Hospital. That's it. So and
Yeah,
the DVR.
I was just watching my soaps, and I have some primetime shows I watch too. But most of my primetime shows come on at the same time, so I have to choose which ones I'm gonna watch. when they air and which ones I'll watch later. Yeah, there's a lot too many, and the other channels it's like too many reality shows, and then it's like, oh, I want to watch some cartoons, Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, Disney, and I'm like, what are they playing? And Disney's Nick at Night sucks. I mean, Nickelodeon's Nick at Night sucks. It's only Friends and Seinfeld. I'm like, remember when I was a kid, all these really awesome old shows were on, and like
I
all
mean,
this.
like the Adventures of Pete and Pete, or the all that. See, that's the stuff I used to sit there and watch, like all that. Are You
Yeah,
Afraid of
Kenan
the
and
Dark?
Kel.
All that stuff. Yeah, King and Cal. Yep. See, that's
Krista explains it all.
yep.
Rugrats.
Yep. There we go. There we go.
Kablam, kablam.
There we go.
Their,
See.
their cartoons look weird. Like I lost faith in them when they premiered SpongeBob. After that, I'm like, I don't know if I can trust y'all anymore with good shows.
Yeah, I mean, granted, let's put it this way, because when I used to watch it, they used to have Ren and Stimpy, right?
Oh yeah.
Ren and Stimpy as a kid was fun. Ren and Stimpy as an adult, that show is gross as F. I don't understand how that show got on the air. Have you ever went back and started watching some of it? It's gross.
Yeah, because I got banned from watching it. My mom, it was the episode where Ren was looking for his fart, and my mom's like, "Turn it off." And so finally, a few years ago, I finally finished the whole episode, and he marries his fart. I'm like, why in the world did I want to watch this when I was younger?
But
Yeah, we
you
had
know,
some crazy shows back in the 90s.
but you know what's really crazy about that show? The reason why that show got canceled not is because of the gross humor, which should have been canceled. It got canceled because Stimpy, no, Ren said, but who was the Chihuahua? Was it Stimpy? No, it was Ren, right?
No,
Yeah, because he said
Ren.
no,
Yeah.
because he said jackass. Because he no, literally he said jackass on Nickelodeon. It was like, all right, we got to cancel it now. That's why I got canceled.
That's stupid because they would have known that he said that before they put it on air.
Listen,
Not if it's live.
not if somebody was sleeping behind the wheel.
Probably. I
I'm,
wouldn't be surprised hearing all the stuff that happened backstage on those shows back in the 90s, early 2000s.
I remember me and my friend was sitting there watching a video on MTV, and for a good 30 seconds, they actually showed a naked clip of a woman, and just all that just explodes. It was literally for 30 seconds, but I was looking at my friend, I was like, and my friend was like, yo, did somebody like sleep behind the wheel? Like, I remember that vividly because I was like, it's like literally 4 in the afternoon on a Saturday. We were sitting there just watching music videos. I'm like,
Oh, wow. In the
yeah,
daylight.
yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So, anything you want to sit there and say as far as a final thought? Final
Um,
word?
this was a funny chat. um, yeah, we got away from soap operas to
Oh, we got
weird
ready for about
shows.
like we got like maybe 10 minutes ago.
No, but I had a lot of fun chatting with you, as
Of
always.
course. Same here. I was like, I was Saturday, I was like, let's see what Danny's sitting there doing. Let me see what she's up to. Let me see what she got going on.
Nothing. Sundays is my lazy day. I don't do nothing. Rarely. Every blue moon maybe something, but no, today, no. I only saw the sunlight because I had to take Rocky out. Otherwise, I would have just been inside downstairs enjoying the AC because it's burning hot outside. Whew.
Yeah, the same thing out here in New York. It's hot. It's hot. It's no joke. Like it was so hot. I remember I woke up at 12 o'clock in the morning to install my AC because I just couldn't sit there and be sweating anymore. When you wake up and you're sweating, it's a problem.
Um, oh yeah, I sleep with the fan on because it can get kind of hot upstairs, but downstairs is freezing. That's why I stay down there. But it's also kind of bad because sometimes the cold makes me really sleepy. So I end up falling asleep sometimes if I'm watching soap operas. I'm like, oh dang, now I gotta start it over again. I'm like, that's not what I was watching just a second ago. It's turned into something different. Especially on Paramount Plus. They just love to skip over Bold and Beautiful and go to Young and Restless. And I'm like, I know I have another episode of Bold and Beautiful to watch.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I mean, granted, like when I'm watching something else on there and it just like starts skipping and stuff like that, it's just like I didn't ask you to change the channel. I'm good. Like, can we just stop? Like, but no, no, it was really fun. You know, it's always fun sitting there chopping it up with you and just talking about soaps and the craziness that goes on in these shows. So I want to thank you again for coming through. I want to thank everyone else for coming through. There's a lot of fun, like usual. So if you're not following Danny, definitely follow Danny Bear87 on YouTube. You also are on Twitter as well. Do you have an Instagram?
Yes, I do.
Are
Danny
you
Bear
okay?
87.
All right. Well, I'm gonna get your Instagram info after this. Listen, I want you to do a live one day. I want you to do a live one on Instagram.
That would be a hot mess.
It'll be fun though. It'll be fun though. It'll be fun. It'll get you out your comfort zone.
I'll think about it.
Okay. She'll think about it, everyone. But all right. So I'm gonna sit there and end this live stream. I want to thank everyone for joining. Share this video if you're not sharing this video. It really does actually help. I think last week it was like 13 people shared a video of mine, which is amazing.
Oh.
And again, also follow Danny Bear 87. If you're not a member, 8 o'clock, it's going to be me and DC. We're going to be sitting there talking about the soaps and pretty much anything else we'll get into. So if you're not a member, definitely join. You want to be a member. It's going to be a lot of fun. And it's only a conversation you're going to get in a members live stream. So if you're not, hit the join button. But I want to thank everyone for joining. Stay safe. Again, follow Danny Bear 87. She's already at 300-something subscribers. So listen, by the end of the year, you're going to be at 1,000. You're going to be at 1,000. You're going to be at, yeah, don't give me that look.
No. I'm going to be at 1,000. Go through, I think like, I checked it earlier. I think it was like 308.
Exactly. And you just be
I'm
another.
going to be at the 1,000 in like 4 months. 5 months.
Yes.
Yeah. 4 months. Yeah.
Don't doubt yourself. You know what I always sit there and say? If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will. So keep that in mind.
Very true.
All right, everyone have a great day, and we'll see you in the next videos or live stream or both.
Yeah.